Okay, here's the deal. We gotta break into this house, and all we have to do is steal this one VHS tape.
Which one is it?
I don't know, man. Let's just look at this tape.
What's so special about this tape anyway?
Hey, Trevon.
Hello, friend.
So Win and I have a question for you.
What is it?
Let's say you go to a bar,
Okay.
and you're looking around, and there's a bunch of nice, hot women around.
Except,
And then you see one with big, fucking, bulging eyes and the creepiest smile ever.
at first you think it's anime, but it's really not.
Then, so what's your reaction to this scene?
I'd fuck her.
No!
No, I was
No,
kidding.
that's not the answer as we
I
found.
would too.
No, did you not learn anything from this movie?
I did, and it makes me really sad.
If you haven't realized, people, we are talking today about VHS, which is a VOD, direct-to-DVD, red box release by Magnet, who are widely known, rising in the VOD, red box
I'd say.
type of production. Last year they did the amazing Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, and now
I'd really say then.
exactly.
That was a really good movie.
So now, their next follow-up has been this. The wonderful titled VHS.
Good check.
Which,
I used to have one of those.
Ah,
coincidentally, you know, you say that thinking like, oh, VHS, that's an old format. But yet, this is one of the scariest things we've seen in a very long time.
Excluding myself.
I would joke, but I'm not kidding.
I'm serious.
The plot of VHS is an anthology movie, much in the vein of Creepshow, in which these criminals are paid to break into a house and to just steal one tape. That's all they got to do. Just steal one VHS tape. Their employer
It
tells
just
them.
makes you already feel like they deserve it too.
Well, we'll get to that.
Because they're criminals. Ha ha ha.
But when they get to the house, they find an old dead man and a bunch of tapes. So they, not knowing which one to steal, they start popping them in, and with each tape comes a new story.
Well, they kind of split up.
Right. But with each tape comes a new story that turns this into an anthology movie, which pretty much means in this movie you get essentially 6 stories.
Which is usually shitty, but in this case was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah. Each segment of the film is directed by a different up-and-coming director, whether it's through independent productions or horror. The directors for this films are Joe Swanberg, T. West, David Bruckner, Glenn McQuaid, Adam Wingwall, and the YouTube group sensation Radio Silence. This movie was actually, this is interesting, this is the first movie produced by Bloody Disgusting, which is a horror movie site. And this is the first movie that they decided to do with their brand new movie production company. And as Win and I have been saying, I mean, they picked a damn good one to start with.
This is so true.
So, I really don't know how we can do this without spoiling too much of Trevon, but let's just talk a little bit individually about each of the 5 films.
Okay.
So
Wait, were there 5 or 6?
there's 6, but there's already one that we told you about where the criminals are looking through the VHS tapes. That's technically one story, and then there's 5 tapes that they watch.
There's 5
Okay.
tapes, yet 6 stories. I
Right.
guess.
All right.
And we'll go through them in order, but the first tape, the first tape was
The first tape is the shit.
the first tape, aptly titled "Guys Getting Laid," is directed by Glenn McQuaid, who's only done one other movie, a independent production called "I'd Sell the Dead."
This man is a genius.
Yeah, I really want to actually go out and see this "I Sell the Dead" now after watching this, because the first tape really does grab your attention because it is a seriously messed up story.
I agree. The whole time you're wondering, you know there's something wrong with this girl off the very bat. like
Yeah.
as we said earlier. But
The plot of the tape is three college guys are trying to go out to bars to get laid, and well, as we kind of hinted at in this review, they take home the wrong girl.
Wait, all three of them take home one girl?
Yeah, the three of them share a girl.
What the figgity?
well, technically they take home 2 girls.
But yeah, but we don't want to spoil too much. But basically, this movie tells you that don't go to bars and pick up creepy women.
I'd still do it, but I might die.
I mean, if her eyes were popping out at me, I would just put a
No,
bag.
it's creepy. Like it is like anime eyes.
I would just put a bag over her head. I mean, it solves every problem.
I don't think it would in this case.
Can I basically just sum up the first film?
Let my dick do the
Don't,
talking.
don't spoil it for them.
I'm not
That's
going to
okay.
spoil anything.
Okay.
Basically, this first film had me and Tommy Senaway as my roommate. If you don't know, he does a lot of things on this review site.
He's a penis
We were
popper.
laying in our beds, peeing our pants.
The first. Well, the thing about the first film,
Go ahead, man.
it's very straightforward, and I don't know about you. Would you say the first one's the goriest?
Oh, there was gore in this movie.
Oh yes, there is gore in this movie.
In a way, no, because of the third.
You thought the third was the worst?
In terms of actual blood and
Yeah.
throat slitting.
Well, yeah. To answer your question, Trevon, there's a lot of gore in this movie.
It's well done, though.
Throat slitting.
Yeah.
Throat slitting's nice.
I mean, Sweeney Todd.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the second tape. The second tape, titled "Dead Honeymoon," is directed by T. West, who is making he's pretty much making a name for himself in the horror genre so far. He did Cabin Fever 2, The House of the Devil, and a movie I really like, The Innkeepers. But it's interesting that he's the most experienced out of all these guys, and I think he did the worst tape.
I have to strongly disagree, and respectfully disagree. I think he made a tape just as good as the other ones.
Really?
His style and the way he did it was outstanding.
It was the most narrative.
He did a good job of making you have feelings for something and latching onto a story. And
Well, I think the main difference was the other tapes kind of had a very simplistic story, and this tape kind of had the most complex one. The tape is about a couple on a honeymoon who are stalked.
And then they die because it's labeled dead honeymoon.
Well, we
then-
don't want to spoil anything, but
And then it's on a honeymoon with dead people.
not necessarily.
no, that's not it at all. It's actually that's just a title, but it's a lot more complex than you think it is. It's actually it throws a big twist at you in the end. And my problem with is that until you really get to that twist, it's actually kind of boring. Or I thought, but apparently Win disagrees on this.
I thought they did a great creepy factor in that one, in a different sense than the first one.
I will agree with you. It's a different kind of horror that they do in the second one. It is building up atmospheric, but I don't know. It just didn't. I couldn't feel it. It didn't get with me. Where you do see the creepiness factor, but I just kind of was like, after the first tape with how balls to the wall it was, I kind of was just like, okay, I want to see a kill.
Why would you want your
I
balls on the
completely-
wall?
But
Answer my question.
why do I want my balls on the wall? It's a figure of speech.
Oh, I thought you were being literal.
No.
Because every morning I like to wake up to that.
The
Balls.
next
No, mine.
tape number 3, which is directed by
Adam
Uh,
Wingward.
David Buckner.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, David Buckner. Oh no, wait. Oh, whoops, got this messed up. Glenn McQuaid did the Woodkiller one, and the first tape was actually done by David Buckner, who's only done one other movie called The Signal.
That sounds stupid.
Huh?
The Signal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that guy was a genius.
That guy really did make a good movie. But Glenn McQuaid, the guy who did I Sell the Dead, did the third tape, aptly titled Woodkiller. And no, you do not make a perverted joke out of that after you watch this.
I have to be honest with you, that is my least favorite one.
I can see that. I can see that. It's the most straightforward, generic one out of all of them.
Uh-huh.
Wood killer.
Yeah.
Like, dick cut off
No,
with an axe?
it's...
I mean,
4 high school kids go into the woods, you can expect what happens.
I wish I could tell you
Oh, like wrong
that
turn.
the actors in this scene did
Kind of.
I'd like to tell you that the actors in this scene tried. They did not really try.
Yeah.
I think it could have been a lot better done.
Personally, I think the idea that they had was really cool.
I honestly don't get anything it has to do with relatively anything at all.
I thought the idea was kind of cool behind it. I just thought it was poorly executed.
Yes, but at the same time, I feel like it has nothing to do with the relativity of the movie.
Well, none of the tapes really did.
Yes, but this one is extremely out there.
Okay. Well, I see your point. You just didn't like how it was kind of... I would say more the problem
I
with
don't
it was...
understand, more importantly, this collection of tapes.
What do you mean?
None of them really do relate. Well, maybe.
Well, that's the point of an anthology film. An anthology film is it's just supposed to tell different stories.
But
Yes,
I
but
thought they
this-
all relate to one point.
But
No.
this guy in the chair, how
It's like
he...
Creepshow.
But this guy, how he had this collection of tapes, this questions me. How does he have this many tapes of these things happening?
I don't think they wanted to explain that just because that wasn't their main focus of the film. Their main focus of the film was just to let each of these directors come in and tell their own story.
Whatever you say, sir.
Let's get to the 4th tape, which is a tape I really want to extensively talk about, which is called Skype Me Now. And that is directed by Joe Swanberg, who's done a bunch of indie films, such as his main credit is a movie called Uncle Kent. And...
I thought you were about to say Uncle Cunt, but continue.
Really?
I have...
And this is about a guy and a girl who... the guy, he lives far away from his girlfriend and is calling her every night on Skype. And
What we would think is fun.
quiet. And when he's calling her on Skype, there's ghosts and other things in the house. And I think the idea and the concept and how they pulled it off was really well done in that one.
I must say this is well done. This one is... To compete with the first one is almost unreal. But for
This one came close.
This one gave you probably the biggest what the hell factor in the whole movie.
Well, I do have a complaint about this tape. This is why I said I wanted to extensively talk about this one.
Yeah, okay.
The atmosphere that he sets up and how he films it and the tricks that he uses are awesome. They really are awesome.
They really are.
But the problem that the story has is it's just a story that makes no goddamn sense. Ultimately.
I
So,
think
like
they
Paranormal
leave it up
Activity.
to you.
Right.
Hear me, you
Sometimes,
bastards.
I heard
I
Paranormal
agree
Activity.
with you. Nothing is explained.
No, and that's the problem. It's a very narrative-heavy story, and I think the problem with it is just they didn't know how to explain it.
Wait, it did better than Paranormal Activity.
Anything does better than Paranormal Activity.
Narrate story, okay. The story didn't make sense, okay, that's one comparison that the two fucking movies... Never mind, just continue.
Yeah, the main problem with the 4th tape is that it really is a shame, because it's the coolest idea out of all of them.
Oh,
And
definitely.
It's
Well, I
very
don't
well.
know.
It's very well filmed. The effects in it are very effective and creepy, and at some points even just downright terrifying.
Uh-huh.
But the problem that the tape has is just you don't have a story to latch onto. It's really just a bunch of It's a bunch of creepy atmosphere and some jump scares, but there's really not much else to it. And then we get to the 5th tape, which personally is my favorite. And that is The Haunted House from Fucking Hell. That's not the name of it, but that's what I'm going to call it. The actual price of it, the actual name of it is The Haunted House. What?
Is what?
$4.99.
What is it called?
Lehew said the actual price. I was giving the actual.
No,
price.
no.
Yeah, but what was the name of the
The
name of the tape?
the name of the 4th tape?
5th?
It was just it's 10/31/98.
Oh, that's an address of a house.
No, it's Halloween year 98.
Oh, I knew that. I'm just testing you.
And this tape
Like I
has
said.
this tape
Like I said.
This tape is the Haunted House from hell. And this one was directed by YouTube sensations Radio Silence, who do a lot of pretty cool videos, and this was their first actual ever foray into directing. And after watching this, every studio needs to go give them a horror project immediately.
I do feel that what comes out today, I feel that this group, this person and or group,
It's two guys.
Okay, what they did matches, if not bests, films of that genre today.
They really, I mean, Trevon, like, you remember how scared we were of Insidious?
Yeah.
This makes the Insidious house look like a, Polly Playboy mansion. This house really throws everything in the fucking... It makes the Poltergeist house look like My Little Pony.
Oh, Barbie dollhouse?
Yeah. It really is that bad. I mean, they're, you see doors shrinking on them. You see hands coming out of the walls trying to choke them. You see all this crazy shit.
Spoilers.
See, that's
shown
the
in the
point.
trailer.
This is the point where if I see shit like that, I'm gone. I'm out. Sorry.
Well, that's the thing.
Actually, the second I walked in this house,
That's the thing.
problem.
This is one of the things I want to bring up. That's actually a really good point to bring up, because as soon as that stuff starts happening, the guys are like you. They're like, we need to get the fuck out of here. They're not stupid. Like, I wonder what's going on.
I disagree. They were playing into
At
such.
first, but as soon as the house started going batshit crazy,
Okay.
yeah, that's right. Correct.
Yeah, correct.
And I just the whole story and narrative behind it also is really creatively well done, and it has a killer ending.
Literally.
Yes, no pun intended.
Ah.
But I mean, those are your 6 films, and really, the main basis that I do have to say about this film is that this is 5 up-and-coming directors who decided to do short horror stories, and you can tell these are all ideas that they had that they knew they couldn't flesh out in the full-length features, and I'm just really glad someone gave these guys a chance to tell them to let them get the money to tell their stories and do it in a very creative and very cool kind of way that we really don't see anymore.
Wait,
I mean,
so overall, how long was this entire movie?
2 hours.
Oh, so it was little
Would you say every story was about 20 minutes?
Yes, because of the in between.
Every story is about
And-
20 minutes,
and or the
25
build-up.
minutes.
Okay.
But, I mean,
I just have to say, if you want a good horror movie, and you're sick and tired of all the horror movies coming out today, this will throw you a curveball.
The ones-
99.9% of all horror movies.
the ones that are
Absolutely.
just absolutely generic and you tell are made by the studio. There's no creative
This one
input in
throws
it.
something at you completely.
This is such a creatively well done movie. I mean, even the whole thing, it's called VHS for a reason. It's all filmed in VHS format. It's not filmed digitally. It's not filmed with brand new cameras.
The cameras are
you
really-
see the fuzz. You see the fuzziness. You see the play in the top left.
Yeah.
It has that creepy feel to it.
And every single one of these aspects that they brought in was brilliant.
It creates an atmosphere. If there's one thing I do have to complain about with this film, it's just, some of the tapes, the stories, narrative structure is still there, and just some of the tapes, one of the tapes, as we said, does suffer from that genericness that you do see in a lot of horror films today. But even in that tape, there is still something cool that they do that is at least a little bit creative.
Yes.
But I think we've gone on long enough about this. I would have to say, even with some of the, with not all the tapes being really good, it still is a movie that I would highly recommend to anyone who likes horror, or anyone who just likes to see a movie that does something different. I would say, though, if you don't see a lot of horror, or if you're new to it, this might not be the one to start with. Just because I think we had fun with it because we've seen a lot of horror.
We had so much fun with it.
We've seen a lot of horror, and this was so creatively different. You don't want to spoil yourself with something really, really good at first.
Not at all.
So, but I just wish if all 5 tapes were amazing, then I would have loved this movie.
Okay,
but
please finish it off. Give us a rating out of our system, please.
I'd say full price.
I would say very, very high full price.
I would say question mark because I haven't seen it yet.
What keeps you from giving it an orgasm?
It's not perfect. I mean, obviously, some of the stories don't make sense, and things aren't explained. Basically, the third one is what ruins it for me for making it an orgasm.
Okay.
So the orgasm is the term we use now for
Apparently so.
Yeah.
perfect movie. Okay. Then.
Well, now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go look at all my old VHS tapes and make sure that none of them have crazy shit on them. I don't know, but
Only Small Soldiers is accepted.
yes.
Balto.
Oh God, Balto! You just pop that in. I want to watch it, Wolf. Yeah.
Balto's in a wolf. He's a werewolf. Okay, go. I'm just kidding. Go for it.
I like you.
Did you erase it?